Once upon a time, on a calm morning in Arendelle, when the sun sparkled like tiny diamonds on the fresh snow and the cold wind brushed softly through the mountains, Elsa woke with a strange feeling, as if something deep within the ice had shifted after many years of silence. She felt a vibration beneath her feet, a kind of icy pulse that traveled through her body and made her heart beat faster, not out of fear but out of recognition, as if an ancient call only someone with ice magic could hear. Anna noticed her sister was uneasy and rushed to her side, just like she always did, because Anna never let Elsa face her mysteries alone. They looked at each other and instantly understood that something big was about to happen. Meanwhile, far to the north, in the frozen circle, a remote and forgotten region, a giant ice crystal began to glow after centuries of sleep. The ice around it trembled, cracks glowing like veins of light. Inside the crystal, resting in a deep enchantment, was the last ice guardian, a magical and legendary creature, half wolf and half snowy guardian, but with no connection to anything dark. For his essence was made only of protection, kindness, and natural strength. He was an ancient creature created to protect the northern lands and maintain the balance of winter. For some unknown reason, he was awakening again. When the crystal finally opened with a soft rumble that echoed through the mountains, the creature opened his bright blue eyes and took a deep breath, releasing a wave of cold air that scattered shimmering snowflakes into the air. He had no memory of the last centuries, but he knew he had been called, and whenever the guardian was called, it meant that the ice needed balance and that a new magic was forming in Arendelle. At the castle, Elsa gathered Anna, Kristoff, Sven, and Olaf to explain what she had felt that morning. Olaf, as always, filled the moment with humor, asking if the ground was beginning to make icy tickles. Kristoff thought it might have been just the wind from the mountains, but Elsa knew it was something more. She felt that same pulse again, as if the ice were trying to speak to her and guide her to a specific place. And when she closed her eyes, she saw flashes of an old legend her mother used to tell them when they were children. Something about a guardian who slept in the far north. Anna, excited and determined as always, said that if new magic existed in the world, then of course they needed to follow it. Kristoff prepared the sleigh, Sven grew excited for another adventure, and Olaf began singing about frozen discoveries. Soon, they were all ready to travel to the far north, where the cold was so intense that the wind sounded like a song when it touched the ice crystals. The journey was long and filled with enchanted landscapes. They saw forests covered in blue ice that sparkled even without sunlight, valleys where snow fell slowly as if floating in time, and mountains so tall they seemed to touch the sky. Along the way, while Anna talked with Kristoff, Elsa watched the horizon with great focus, feeling the icy pulse grow stronger with every mile, like a heartbeat made of winter guiding her forward. When they finally arrived at the frozen circle, they were amazed. The landscape was unlike anything they had seen before. It was silent, yet not frightening. The ice formed natural sculptures that looked like crystal castles, and the ground shimmered as if tiny stars were trapped beneath it. Then Elsa felt a presence. A different kind of cold brushed past her, and when she looked toward the nearby mountain, she saw a large figure with fur as white as freshly fallen snow and bright, protective eyes. The last ice guardian was fully awake and watching them with curiosity. Anna was immediately fascinated and stepped forward, though Kristoff urged caution. But the guardian tilted his head and slowly approached, as if he recognized something in Elsa. He sensed the magic inside her, pure and strong, connected to the same essence from which he had been created. Elsa raised her hand, and the guardian gently touched his forehead to hers, releasing a wave of blue light around them, as if the ice itself were celebrating the reunion. With that touch, ancient memories awoke in both of them. The creature showed visions from the early days of winter, when magical guardians protected the harmony of the northern lands. But there was something more. He showed a deep crack spreading through the mountains, caused by uncontrolled magic that formed when someone with ice powers could not balance their emotions. To everyone's surprise, that fissure was connected to Elsa's own magic, because her powers were growing beyond what she had imagined. The Guardian explained, through the visions, that there was no danger if she learned to control this new strength and that he had awakened to guide her. For only a Guardian could teach a new wielder whose magic was evolving. Elsa was amazed because she had believed she understood her powers completely, but she now realized that ice magic was alive, ever-changing, and always expanding. Anna held her hand, promising she would be by her side through everything. The Guardian led them into a crystalline cave where the ice seemed to breathe like a living creature. Inside, Elsa faced a challenge not of fighting, but of emotional balance. She saw reflections of her memories, fears, joys, and all she had lived through since discovering her magic. Each emotion floated in the form of shining crystals, and she had to embrace all of them without letting any one feeling take over completely. It was a powerful and beautiful moment, and Anna grew emotional seeing her sister smiling at the end, finally understanding that her magic was not just a power but a living part of her. When Elsa completed the challenge, the Guardian surrounded her with a soft, icy glow. New, shimmering snowflakes swirled around her in a different shade of blue, showing that her powers had reached a new level. With this new, balanced strength, the crack in the mountains began to close, for the imbalance had been corrected. The wind blew lighter and the frozen circle sparkled as if in gratitude. Elsa approached the Guardian and asked if he would stay with them, but he gently explained that his duty was to protect the balance of the ice, and now that he had awakened, he would continue watching over the northern lands. He approached Anna, Olaf, and Kristoff, giving each of them a gentle touch, then raised his head to the sky and released a beautiful howl that echoed across the valley, marking the beginning of a new cycle. Before leaving, he touched his forehead to Elsa once more, and in her mind she heard a kind farewell telling her that whenever the ice called, he would be near. With that, the creature ran into the mountains and disappeared into the sparkling snow, leaving a trail of blue light that slowly faded into the horizon. Anna hugged Elsa tightly and said she was incredibly proud of her. Kristoff commented that it had been one of the most magical adventures they had ever experienced. Olaf happily declared he wanted to be friends with every magical guardian in the world, and so they returned to Arendelle, knowing that the magic had changed once more, and the balance of winter was safe. And as always, more adventures awaited them. Like, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and watch the next Enchanted adventure, Frozen, the Secret Song of the Enchanted Valley, Enchanted Kid Story.